Hello, developers, and welcome to Auth0 Developer Day. I'm Shiv Ramji, president of Auth0, and I'm really excited to have you join us. We have people tuning in from all corners of the globe on LinkedIn and X, and on Auth0's YouTube channel, and right here on developerday.com, which is very cool. Thank you for spending your day with us. Now, just like in years past, today is all about you, our awesome Auth0 developer community. Whether you're an architect, a CTO, or a modern-day coder, we've put together an amazing day to share what we've been working on with you in mind. Our mission is to ensure your users can securely access any application you build, whether it's a consumer, SaaS, or enterprise app. That means we must give you the tools that make building, securing, and scaling your applications with Auth0 easy. Whether it's building with the latest language frameworks while using our SDKs, reliably handling billions of logins monthly, or successfully blocking millions of malicious requests a month, Auth0 has your back. Now, I know GenAI has been a big focus for a lot of you lately. You are thinking hard about how to use it safely and responsibly. Well, guess what? We've been right there with you thinking about it across our whole platform. And it's not just about the new stuff. We're still committed to what's fundamental. We've continued to add capabilities that empower you to battle malicious threats, bots, and attackers. Plus, we've heard you loud and clear on wanting more from our free plan. So, we've bumped it up to give you more room to experiment and grow. We've increased the number of monthly active users from 7,500 to 25,000. And we've made it free to add passwordless authentication to your applications. And we've made it possible for you to use your own domain with Auth0, all for free. Now look, we're not stopping here. We're going to keep pushing forward. We want you to be able to build amazing things, and right now, GenAI is where so much of the excitement is. But here's the thing. Building these AI-powered applications brings a whole new set of security challenges, especially around identity and user trust. We all know that with GenAI, building a good-looking working demo or a basic application is easier than ever before. Many of you have probably seen it or done this at a hackathon, or are spending a few hours building a proof of concept at work. The reality is most of these AI-powered applications aren't quite ready to handle production scenarios. And many of you are asking questions like, how can we make sure agents are not bypassing security to find answers for prompts? Or how can we make sure GenAI apps are using a limited set of permissions to act on a user's behalf? Now you might wonder, haven't we solved authentication already? Isn't this what Auth0 was supposed to do? Yes, that's exactly what we've been up to. For years, Auth0 has been at the forefront of identity, working with experts, experimenting, and changing the industry so that we can provide the solutions you need to build securely. GenAI applications, chatbots, AI agents, and all these cool new tools are really changing how we build applications and how people use them. AI is prompting us to rethink the very foundation of applications. It's not about client-side versus server-side anymore. Now we're building apps that weave in different AI models which act almost as intelligent co-processors. This is driving a new wave of application unbundling where core functionality gets broken down into specialized AI services. Think of a smart assistant using separate AI services for voice, intent, and actions. Because these agents can understand what we say and then go do stuff on their own. It means we've got to rethink identity from the ground up. It's not just about logins anymore. It's about making sure users feel safe and in control. To get this right, we've identified 4 requirements that are super important for identity. Now, these are not brand new ideas, but they matter way more with GenAI. So, let's break it down from the user's point of view. What does it take for them to really trust these applications? GenAI apps need to know who I am. Now, this isn't just about being able to respond to a prompt saying, "Hi, Sarah." It's about knowing who's doing what with their data so that there is accountability. These applications also need to perform tasks on my behalf. This is where it gets tricky. Users need to believe the AI-powered application is staying in its lane, doing only what it's been asked to, and not going rogue. GenAI applications need to be able to perform long-running tasks with asynchronous interactions. If an AI application is working on something for hours, users need to be able to check in and understand what's happening, and have a way to hit the pause button if needed. And finally, they need to consider my permissions when using data to complete tasks for me. This is a huge one for me. Users have to be sure the AI isn't snooping around in files it shouldn't be, or sharing information with the wrong people. Across the board, developers are telling us the same thing about GenAI identity. Whether you're building at the biggest companies or hacking away on side projects, the message is clear. Getting GenAI identity right is a significant hurdle impacting every single one of you. Now, thanks to what we've learned after 10 years of building Auth, we focus on creating a new product to make it easy for you to solve these. We call that product Auth for GenAI. Auth for GenAI package we've learned from working with GenAI frameworks, product builders, and builds upon Auth0's decade-long experience in identity and building for developers. It helps solve authentication and authorization requirements for GenAI applications. Auth for GenAI is built using secure identity standards and ships with SDKs for languages and frameworks that you use. It also comes with clear and easy to understand docs so that you can enjoy securing your GenAI apps with the developer experience you've come to love from Auth0. So, let's see it in action. I want to introduce you to Deepu Sasidaran from our developer advocacy team. He's going to walk us through how you can add identity to your AI-powered application using Auth0. Welcome to Developer Day, Deepu.
Thanks for the kind words, Shiv. So, as Shiv mentioned, the very first things these AI apps needs to do is figure out who their user is. The agent or the app needs to know who it is talking to. So, this is true whether you are using an AI framework like LangChain or Versal AI SDK, or even if you're building your own from scratch, which a lot of us tend to do. Auth0's user authentication solution adds universal login to your application using OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect to safely and securely authenticate your users. Whenever a user authenticates through Auth0, Auth0 can then pass that user information to an AI agent via an ID token. Your users can authenticate using their preferred identity provider, as well making it possible to build a personalized user experience based on their profile information. I'll show you how you can do this with our Next.js powered sample app. It's called Assistant 0. So Assistant 0 consolidates your digital life by dynamically accessing multiple tools to help you stay organized and efficient. So in this demo, we'll show you how to add Auth0 to your application. Here I already have an Auth0 tenant and an Auth0 web app set up for the tenant. I also have all my dependencies installed, so we can start by adding the credentials for the Auth0 app to our Next.js applications environment file. Now we can create an Auth0 client and use that in our middleware to handle all incoming requests. Next, we can add a login and sign up buttons to the application. Along with a nice user profile component. Now, let's log in. Ta-da! We have our user authentication now. Finally, we can use the tool to get the user's identity from the agent. Now let's test it out. You can download this app from GitHub by scanning this QR code. Wrapping this up, we have now got user authentication hooked up in our GenAI app thanks to Auth0. That was pretty smooth. Universal Login is your solution for adding secure authentication to your agentic app. With it, you can add proven and scalable authentication flows. feature-rich branding, and use a variety of login methods. The best part is it's available for you to use today. And with that, what do you think, Shiv?
That is incredibly impressive, and we have a lot more to come. We've added authentication to our agent using universal login. It's interesting to think about how GenAI apps work, right? They're designed to take what we say in plain language and then perform actions or give us back information. For example, imagine that I'm using Assistant Zero. I might want to go into my Gmail account, find specific emails, and draft replies for me. It should also be able to do that. But here's where it gets tricky. As a user, I might worry, what if Assistant Zero could do more than I intended? What if it ended up accessing files within my email that it shouldn't? And as developers, we face the challenge of securely managing those connections. We don't want our applications handling Gmail API keys directly, because that's a huge security risk. So, to make this work, Assistant Zero needs a way to access and interact with my Gmail account, but in a very controlled and secure way. Now, this Gmail example is just one case. As AI agents become more common, they'll need to connect to a wide range of APIs in traditional web applications. This makes secure API access a really critical challenge. This is why we built Token Vault. Token Vault allows your applications to securely access third-party APIs on a user's behalf. When a user authenticates with a supported external provider and uses OAuth scopes to authorize access, Auth0 stores the refresh tokens for that connection in the Token Vault and can broker new access tokens. This makes it possible for your agents to call the external provider's APIs using these credentials brokered by Auth0. To do things like get a user's email from Gmail or access GitHub repos or anything else that you want the agent to do. The best part is there is no need for your applications to manage refresh tokens or build custom integrations for your identity provider. Auth0 handles it all for you out of the box. With Token Vault, you get access to a variety of external providers' APIs all through a single Auth0 integration. Now, it's time to show you Token Vault in action. Deepu, I heard you're connecting Assistant Zero to your Google account.
That's right, Shiv. So how this works is a user will authenticate using their Google account and authorize access to their account using OAuth2 scopes. Auth0 will then store the federated connections refresh token in the token vault. Doing this allows your application to exchange a valid Auth0 refresh token for a federated access token, which is refreshed by Auth0 using what it has available in the token vault. So let me show you this in action. I have already set up a Google social connection on the tenant. Now let us enable Token Vault for the connection. I have also installed Auth0 AI SDK to our codebase, so let's configure that to get access tokens for Google using Token Vault. Now let's configure a Gmail search tool to get access tokens using Token Vault. Let's see if I can fetch the latest emails from my inbox. And it's that easy. We have a couple more tools on the demo app, so do check it out on GitHub by scanning this QR code. With those changes, now Assistant Zero can call into Google's APIs on my behalf. What do you think, Shiv?
Man, second impressive demo. Remember, Token Vault is a solution for managing seamless federated identity. It makes it simple to manage connections across multiple external providers via a single Auth0 interface, and it's available in developer preview for you today. Now let's press pause. We've set up Assistant Zero with user authentication so that end users can have a personalized experience. We've added Gmail support to Assistant Zero using Token Vault. Now it can call Gmail's third-party APIs on our behalf. Now, these are tasks that are fairly straightforward to perform. But what if we wanted to do something that required additional approvals? Like, for instance, make a purchase on our behalf from an online store. Sometimes AI agents might take a little while to get things done, or they might be waiting for something to happen before they can move forward. For this example, I'm sure you'd want someone to review and confirm what is being purchased, right? Otherwise, that could leave us with a pretty big credit card bill. This is what we call an asynchronous human-in-the-loop scenario, where your agent app will wait for a user's response while they're away from the chatbot. Now, it could be minutes or hours before an end user approves a purchase, though let's hope they don't miss a sale. These cases will become more common and will be built as asynchronous workflows with agents running in the background. But from a security perspective, you don't want GenAI apps to keep user credentials around, right? You want on-demand asynchronous authorization. This is why we created async authorization. Now, behind the scenes, async authorization is powered by client-initiated backchannel authentication, or CIBA for short. Now, CIBA is a standard created to support applications using a decoupled authentication flow. With CIBA, you can build authentication flows when an end user can authenticate on a separate device. Let me walk you through an example. Now, take a scenario where you want to use Assistant Zero to purchase something from an online shop. You ask Assistant Zero to make a purchase in your web browser. Then, as part of processing your task, it sends an authorization request to your phone. You can then go to your phone and approve the request. And now Assistant Zero can confirm your purchase and complete your request. This is what CIBA allows you to do. Now, let's go shopping and have Deepu show us how you can do this with Assistant Zero.
Thanks, Shiv. Let's see an example where Assistant Zero actually completes a purchase from our fictional store and sends us a notification for approval. I have already configured Auth 0 tenant to enable CIBA and push notifications, so let's jump straight into code. First, we need to configure the Auth 0 AI SDK to wrap our tools so that we can use async authorizations. Now, let's wrap our tool with this function so that it will be executed upon user approval and can even fetch access tokens from the CIBA flow if needed. Now, let's test it. This will trigger a push notification on my phone and I can approve or deny it. And this is how human-in-the-loop interactions would work with Auth 0. And with those changes, we now have async authorization set up in Assistant Zero with CIBA. Remember, you can download this sample at github.com, and just like everything you have seen, it's available in developer preview. Now it's time to add Shiv's credit card and go shopping, yeah?
Good luck trying, Deepu. No shopping spree for you today. Now, this brings up a good point. Auth 0 research shows that the leading reason why customers are shying away from using AI agents is because they don't trust AI agents with their personal data. They're worried about privacy, security, and the potential for AI to overstep its boundaries. Now, async authorization lets your AI agents show users exactly what they're giving permissions for in plain language. This is a game changer for user trust, right? Instead of some confusing technical stuff, your users get a straightforward explanation of exactly what the agent is authorized to do. This is incredibly useful, especially for AI agents that might be running for extended periods. Think of things like operators, in-depth research agents, or even scheduled tasks that ChatGPT handles. And now that leaves us with one more core requirement. AI agents need to consider my permissions when using data to complete my tasks. Almost all GenAI apps feed information to large language models to help it generate better responses. This is what's called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. But if you think about it, that information comes from multiple systems. For example, what if we ask Assistant Zero to give us information about a project we've been working on? To give you an answer, our agent would need to access my account and access specific files that have the latest updates in my document store. Then it would need to feed that into an AI model to make sense of the information. Now, here's where it gets critical. In that example, I wouldn't want Assistant Zero to have unrestricted access to every document in my document store. That poses a real risk of sensitive information disclosure. Instead, I want you to access only the relevant documents that I have permission to see. And I absolutely need to ensure that unauthorized information is strictly excluded. We need to be mindful of excessive agency. We don't want the AI agent acting beyond its intended scope. To help keep GenAI applications secure and avoid sensitive information disclosure, data fed into AI models to respond or act on behalf of a user must be data that the user has permission to access. Authorization for RAG must be enforced at the level of granularity at which data is retrieved. Instead of getting all of the data that matches a query or data based on my course rule, I want the authorization to happen at the document level. This is why Auth for GenAI uses Auth0 FGA to provide support for fine-grained authorization control. Auth0 FGA is a scalable authorization service for developers to implement authorization in their applications. By using Auth0 FGA, developers can design flexible authorization models that live outside of their code base while using a centralized solution that scales for their needs. What this means for your AI agents is that they can use RAG to provide relevant responses to user prompts, using only the data the user is authorized to access, and it's doing it at the document level. I think that's very cool, but I know Deepu has some code to show this off. Deepu, I hear you have one more example for us.
Yeah, that's right, Shiv. We have built Assistant Zero to do a lot. Now let's make sure it can access just the information our user has access to. As usual, I have already set up my Auth0 FGA account, so let's jump right into code. Assistant Zero lets users upload documents to use as context. The documents are indexed on a vector store, but we don't want just anyone to have access to the docs, let alone the AI agent. Assistant Zero also lets a user share a document with another user. Let's see how we can use FGA to control the access here. Let's define a tool that fetches these documents for context. Now, let's switch to another user and add a document. Now, let's try to get this document. The agent declines the request, and rightfully so. Now let's share the document with this user. Let's try again. And now you can access the document as the FGA policy has been updated since the document was shared. Isn't that cool? Check out the full code on GitHub by scanning the QR code shown here. And with that, we have secured our agent so that it can't access any files or information it's not supposed to. Now my time is up, so let's hand this back to Shiv one final time.
Thanks, Deepu. And just like everything else you've seen today, FGA is available for you to use today. Now, everything we've shared today should help you understand why we take this so seriously. Security must be built into the foundation of every GenAI application, and we're actively providing the solutions to make that happen. We also realize this space is evolving very rapidly. While we talked a lot about Auth for GenAI, we're already exploring other capabilities to help you meet the unique challenges of building for GenAI. For example, let's talk about MCP, the Model Context Protocol. MCP provides a standardized way to connect AI models to different data sources and tools. Our team at Auth0 and others are collaborating as part of the MCP community to define Auth for MCP. We started by recently launching the Auth0 MCP server to help you securely configure Auth0 from your AI tools, which should boost your productivity. We're also thinking about how to enable you to more safely use MCP. Imagine a scenario where your AI agents can actually navigate and use websites like OpenAI Operator or those built with BrowserBase. We want developers to be able to control these in a friendly way. But this is all just the beginning. We want you to start by visiting auth0.com/AI. Everything you've seen is available for you to use in developer preview today. In case you missed it, it's free to get started. So take a few minutes to sign up today. We are eager to see what you build. Now, your feedback is crucial. We want to continue listening to you and hearing what you think about everything we've discussed today. If you have a suggestion for us to tackle or a pain point you'd like us to solve, share your thoughts with us using the form at the QR code on the screen. It's anonymous and should take no more than 5 minutes. We appreciate it and thank you for sharing with us. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this small taste of what we've been working on. We have more in-depth sessions and labs from our team later today, as well as conversations with our partners at Cloudflare, Vercel, and LangChain. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you check out auth0.com/AI to sign up for Auth for GenAI and enjoy Developer Day.